What's up, ladies and gents? This is K-Sig Kid, coming at you with another Destiny video. Today, we're only days away from the hard raid in the Taken King, the King's Fall hard raid. So what I want to do today is talk about some of the things that I would personally suggest you gear up on and prepare for, and maybe just some speculation as to what we could expect whenever the hard mode drops. If you enjoy this video, go ahead and smack that like button and subscribe to the channel. Now, first things first, if you don't have the Touch of Malice, go get it. Make that your #1 priority. Chances are you've already done some of the most difficult parts of this anyway. You've probably already gone through the raid, got all the pieces that you need. You've probably done some of the mission and collected some of the calcified fragments. Just go out and look for those final fragments. I can't stress how important this gun is in the last 2 stages of the raid right now, as far as being able to kill the sisters and hurt orcs and deal out all kinds of damage and have that unlimited ammo. All kinds of really good things that I imagine are going to be pretty useful whenever you're doing the hard raid. So, priority #1, get your Touch of Malice. It should help out a whole lot with the last 2 stages of the hard raid. And that's kind of something that I'm going to focus on with this all, is dealing out the most damage possible. You want to go into this hard raid with as much gear as you can that is perfect for the encounter. You don't want to be running around with little pea shooters and just guns you think look cool and feel cool. Run around with the stuff that's actually going to kill things. Speaking of which, Black Spindle. If you don't have it, there's really nothing you can do except for hope that it drops as the daily mission soon, real soon, and you can pick it up there. If you do have it though, bring it with you and equip it. It absolutely melts the first 2 bosses, the War Priest and Golgoroth. They don't stand a chance whenever you've got a team full of Black Spindles. You'll destroy them. You'll absolutely destroy them. And that's great. That's exactly what you want to do. You want to make your life as easy as possible in the hard raid. So if you have a Black Spindle and you have some special weapons that you can infuse to make it even higher light, do it. That's what I would suggest, is to do it. If you don't have a Black Spindle, don't despair. Bring your sniper rifle, your best sniper rifle. Maybe that Omelon sniper rifle, the Irene, or the 1,000-yard stare. One of those 2 snipers would be great, and make sure you're using it. Please use your sniper rifles on the War Priest. If you're not using your sniper rifles, you might want to take your sleeper simulant in with you. That can deal out some big time damage to the War Priest and Golgoroth. Not as much as the Black Spindle, but it can deal a ton of damage. Also, bring yourself a heavy machine gun, not a rocket launcher. Honestly, there's no point in this entire raid that you ever need a rocket launcher. A heavy machine gun is more than sufficient for everything. They're extremely awesome, they're powerful, they deal out damage, and they don't accidentally kill you when you and your group members are all grouped up. So just something to keep in mind. The priority guns to bring in, again, the Touch of Malice, Black Spindle, or a great sniper rifle, and a heavy machine gun / sleeper simulant. Now, what about the raid weapons that you get from this raid? Well, I would suggest bringing some of those too. I personally have a full auto version of the scout rifle, and because it gets that extra bonus damage against Taken, I have a feeling that's going to be really useful in the hard raid. So some of your weapons, if you really like them, I know a lot of people really like that pulse rifle, a lot of people like the scout rifle, it's probably going to be pretty useful, so feel free to bring those in. Even the sniper rifle from the raid, if you don't happen to have an Irene or 1,000-yard stare, bring in that one, because that's going to help you out too. I think dealing damage to Taken is going to be pretty beneficial. And speaking of other benefits, as far as subclasses go, there's pretty much 3 that top out all others. For the Titan, the Defender Titan, you're going to want to go in with that Weapons of Light bubble with Illuminated and Bastion on. It's going to help you deal out the most damage, and the Defender Titan is always pretty much the class of the raids. So, I know Sunbreakers are a lot of fun, but you gotta be rocking your Defender Titan with that bubble if you want to help out your team the most, just to help deal out the most damage possible, be the most efficient killing machine you can be. That's pretty much what we want. We're gonna be under-leveled a bit, so we want to deal out the most damage that our group can possibly deal. So for the Titans, it's Defender all the way. For the Hunter, there's really no choice at all. It's the Void Hunter, without question. Shadow Shot plus Weapons of Light is going to deal out big damage to bosses. you're going to really want that. Plus, of course, Shadow Shot only gives out orbs to everybody. It only gives you 10 billion orbs every time you use it. It's amazing. By far one of the best classes in the game. And for the Warlocks, well, the Warlocks pretty much are back to being Sunsingers. That's right, Sunsingers. Why? Because of permadeath. That's right, we're going to start speculating about the raid. If we learned anything about the last 2 hard modes, it was that hard mode meant permadeath. Now, I personally don't like the idea of permadeath. I don't think that that should be Bungie's crutch as far as how to make something more difficult. I feel like as raids evolve and they become more cooperative, that the need for permadeath to be the answer as far as being hard it really shouldn't be the case. Because you want to have all these cooperative, awesome raid ideas, but you want to make it then where when one person dies, you're pretty much screwed and you have to wipe. That just doesn't seem fun, or just doesn't seem like the right way to go about things. But because I feel like permadeath is going to be back, you're going to want to have your Sunsingers. You're going to want that Sunsinger for that second chance at life. You really can't just gamble on anything else. That's pretty much your best option. Sure, the Arc Warlock is great as far as dealing out damage to mobs that might be around, especially in the beginning stages. But again, if you're dead, what does it matter anyway, regardless of what super you have? So you gotta go Sunsinger. Now, we already know that the enemies are going to be a higher light level than you. That pretty much is a given. And they already mentioned that the gear that you get is going to drop between 310 and 320 light, which is amazing. So hopefully we're all lucky enough to get some gear out of the beginning stages, the gate, and something like the War Priest to just kind of level up a little bit, because honestly, I don't think there are that many people that have 310 Guardians. I think everybody pretty much falls around the 305 or higher for their main. My main character probably is like 307 or 308, and then I have a hunter that's, I don't know, maybe 302, 303, but I'm still going to take them both into the hard raid, at least to give it a shot, because I figure my chance of getting some gear that's at least going to boost up my light is better in the hard raid. Get one piece of gear that's 315, 316, 320, and boom, I'm doing pretty good for myself right there. So don't feel afraid or anything like that to take in some characters. You know, if you get stuck in a raid and it's just way too difficult, if the light scaling is just way too much where they're just gear checking you and you've got no chance in the raid, then just bow out or swap back to your main character. Something where you're not feeling like you're just a squishy little sponge. Also, I kind of alluded to it earlier, but I think they're going to be taken everywhere. I feel like all the random enemies, the hive and everything that we were facing before, like in Golgoroth's Pit, we were facing a whole bunch of just normal hive throughout. I feel like they're all going to be taken. Everything is going to be taken in this raid. That's what my guess is. I have that feeling. So that's why I mentioned that the raid guns might be pretty useful, because I feel like you're just going to face a whole lot more taken than you have in the normal raid. Remember, they actually made the hard raid first, and then they scaled it back for normal. So they already know everything that they're doing. It's not going to be just a cheap raid like with Crota, where they were like, okay, you're fighting the exact same thing, except for now you're underleveled and you're getting a significant 20-30% damage and damage taken penalty. No, they actually made things different. So what other mechanics could there be? Could there be another form of orcs at the end? It's possible. I don't know. It's possible. There could be another form of all the bosses. A lot of people have speculated that maybe gaze taking is going to be pretty big in Golgoroth, and that could be interesting. I'm definitely going to recommend to my team that we start off with the one orb strategy, mainly because of how absolutely insanely powerful it is. But if they make it a case where taking the gaze is as important as not dying, for instance, remember that glyph counter in the back of Golgoroth where whenever you die 6 times he enrages? If taking his gaze is anything like that, that one orb strategy, it's not going to work. So we're going to have to adapt. So things like that can really throw a monkey wrench into the raid. What other things do you think that Bungie might have in store for us? There could be enemies in the jumping. That would be really tricky. What if there were shriekers in the ship jumping puzzle? Holy crap, you're probably swearing and punching your computers right now. Please don't do that. I truly hope that isn't the case. That would be the worst, to have shriekers in that area. you would just, oh my goodness, I couldn't even imagine the chaos and how much people would be just spitting fire and brimstone out at Bungie for that one. But they could do it. You never know. And that's what's so interesting. That's what I'm really looking forward to finding out what changes in the hard raid. I feel like also you could have random runners on orcs. Just like how the sisters are random, it's very possible that they could be random runners on orcs. Remember, it was random teleports to get the relic out on Atheon in the Vault of Glass. It's possible that those invincibility auras might not work the same way. Maybe they'll only give you a damage reduction instead of invincibility. Maybe the Touch of Malice won't work infinitely in there. Oh, that would be really frustrating and tough. I don't know. What things do you think are going to happen in the hard raid? Bring your characters, bring your best gear, and bring your thumbs, because you're going to be doing this for a little while. Anyway, guys and gals, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, smack that like button. Subscribe to the channel to keep updated on daily Destiny content. Check out these awesome videos. Good luck with your raids, your drops, the Taken King, and I'll see you around in Destiny. It's so hard.